Hi guys, and welcome to the second episode of Investing Made. So in this episode we are going to be talking about paying debt, and if you haven't watched the previous video I really recommend it because I'm basically trying to go through the 7 steps for creating wealth, and this is the first one. We first want to take down our debts so we have more power to start investing and creating wealth. So we are going to be looking at 2 different strategies which I consider are the most efficient ones, both in psychological terms and also in mathematical terms. So let's start with those. So for any of these methods we are going to do 2 things, and the first one is we need to list all our debts in an Excel spreadsheet or something where we have the name of the actual thing, maybe credit card B, credit card C. We are also going to have the amount of money that we need to pay every month as a minimum, and also we are going to put the interest rate, and we are going to put the total amount of the debt. And the idea of this is going to allow us to assess which one we want to attack first. And also we need to keep in mind that for all our debts in this process we want to keep paying at least the minimum, so we don't start getting like late fees and this kind of stuff that is really going to take us down back in our paying debt journey. So the 2 things that we need to do is, first of all, list all your debts to get visibility, and the second of all is always pay the minimum amount that you need to pay so you don't get late fees and all these issues. Okay, so now that we got the basics for paying any debt, we are going to focus on the first method, which is called the Snowball method. And this method is mostly recommended by Dave Ramsey, yes, the famous Dave Ramsey. And the idea is that we start paying the smallest debt, and then we start snowballing all the payments that we are doing for the smallest debts into the bigger ones, and that gives us more motivation to keep paying all the other debts. So this, mathematically speaking, is not the most efficient method of all, but it really helps people get motivated and get into like destroying debts, even if it is paying first the smallest ones. This small feeling of accomplishment is what makes it so powerful. So I'm going to create a spreadsheet where we will be able to visit both of them, and basically it's going to tell you which debt you need to pay first based on the 2 different methods. But yes, the idea of this one is start for the small ones and then start rolling back all of these payments into the bigger debts, and eventually you'll be debt free. Again, this method is not the most efficient of all, but it has been proved for a while that most of the issues of finances is about behaviors, not necessarily about the math and understanding the logic behind it. So if you can get yourself motivated to start getting into the right track, it is better than just trying to go for the most efficient way and you don't stick to it and then you go back to your old habits. So I really recommend you to consider this option, and consider also in which position do you feel you are in at the moment. Are you already like fully motivated to destroy all your debts, or you are still like getting into this path, into this like, oh, should I pay now or should I go to another vacation with my other credit card? So based on where you are, one strategy or the other can be better. I recommend you this one if you are still struggling, psychologically speaking, to get motivation, if you feel devastated every time you look at your debt. So this is a really nice way of start going and start destroying one by one and getting better and more motivated to take them down. And maybe later down the road you can switch to the other method, like, okay, let's go now to the cheapest. I'm already motivated, I can kill this. So yes, let's take a look at the second method. So the second method, I just call it the cheapest method because mathematically speaking is the cheapest way for you to pay your debts. And the idea is, with this one we are just going to start paying the one that has the highest interest, and like that we will always be optimizing our money. So we start reducing the amount of interest that we are paying in our total debt, which is at the end going to give us a bit more power to start paying the other debts. Personally, I think this is of course, like mathematically speaking, the best approach, but again, as I was mentioning before, it really depends where you are as a person and in your journey of paying your debts. And okay, right now we are just going to take a look at the spreadsheet, and I'm going to explain you how it works, how you can add your debts in there, and you can start following one of these strategies with your own numbers and start taking them down. Okay, so this is the link that I gave you down below, and the first thing that you are going to do is that you need to create your own copy so that you are able to edit this with your own changes. And now here we should be able to start editing. So as you can see, based on this data, the Snowball is saying, oh, start with this first debt, because it's the one that has the smallest amount in total. But with the cheapest method, it's gonna tell you like, hey, you should probably take a look into this credit card because it's the one with the highest interest rate. I just wanted to show you how you can add a new one, so you can just select the row and drag it and then start editing the different information, and it is of course going to automatically update based on the criteria. So let's say, for example, this one is actually cheaper than the one above, then this is going to still have the same criteria, but if it goes up to 25%, it's gonna tell you like, oh, the cheapest with the cheapest method you should be paying this one first. Okay guys, that was pretty much everything for this video. Remember, I'm leaving down below the Excel that we were working with, so it's in Google Drive. You can just clone it and get your own copy for you and edit your numbers and stuff. The second thing is we will keep going through the steps of wealth, so remember to check the first video there, and also remember to subscribe so you don't miss the next episodes. And also let me know down below in the comments, how are you doing with your wealth process. Let me know how are you going to start attacking your own debts, because I'm really hoping that I'm helping people here. And yes, I'll just see you in the next one. Thank you guys.